Gather around, my people. Let me tell you a tale of kindness, a story told under the moonlit skies by the warmth of the fire, and passed down through generations. Long ago, in a land blessed with golden fields and mighty baobab trees, there was a man named Kwame. Kwame was a humble farmer, known for his hard work and the sweetest yams in the village. Early one morning, with a woven basket perched on his head and the sun just rising, he set off on the dusty road that stretched between his village and the bustling market. The road was lonely, bordered by tall elephant grass that swayed gently in the breeze. The air was filled with the scent of wildflowers and the distant hum of insects. Kwame hummed a song his mother used to sing while he walked, but unknown to him, danger lurked ahead. From the shadows of the towering baobab trees, a group of thieves emerged. Their faces were hidden by cloth, and their eyes burned with greed. "Stop there, traveler!" one of them barked, his voice cutting through the silence like a whip. Kwame froze. Before he could react, they surrounded him. "Your yams and your money! Hand them over!" Kwame tried to reason with them, saying, "Brothers, I have little. These yams are for my family's survival." But the thieves showed no mercy. They beat him with sticks, took his basket, and stripped him of his cloth, leaving him with nothing but pain and fear. Bruised and bleeding, Kwame collapsed by the side of the road. The thieves disappeared into the tall grass, their laughter fading into the distance. The sun climbed higher, its heat relentless. Kwame lay there, weak and helpless, his life hanging by a thread. A little while later, the sound of a wooden staff tapping against the ground echoed through the air. A priest, dressed in flowing white robes, walked along the road. He was known in the villages for his wisdom and devotion to the gods. As the priest approached, he spotted Kwame lying on the ground. "Help me," Kwame whispered, his voice barely audible. The priest hesitated. He looked at Kwame, then at the road ahead. His face twisted in thought. "If I stop, I will be late for the morning rituals at the shrine," he muttered to himself. "And if this man dies in my hands, I will be considered unclean." The priest sighed, adjusted his robes, and crossed to the other side of the road. His staff tapped faster as he hurried away, his chants growing faint in the distance. Kwame watched him go, tears mixing with the dirt on his face. The sun was now blazing overhead, and the air shimmered with heat. A wealthy merchant appeared on the road, riding a sturdy donkey. His robes were colorful, and his fingers glittered with gold rings. When the merchant saw Kwame, he slowed down. "Who is this?" he thought, his eyes narrowing. "Could it be a trap? The thieves might still be hiding, waiting for me to stop." Kwame raised a trembling hand. "Please help me," he begged, but fear gripped the merchant's heart. He pulled the reins of his donkey and quickened his pace, leaving Kwame to suffer alone. As the day wore on and hope began to fade, a figure appeared in the distance. It was a man named Chima, a stranger from a faraway village. Chima's skin was dark as the rich soil, and his clothes were simple but clean. Chima was a man of humble beginnings, born in a small village across the river where life was hard, but the people were kind. He learned early on the value of helping others, for in his village, no one survived alone. Though life had taken him far from home, those lessons stayed with him like the beat of a drum in his heart. Chima gets a flashback of him working with his mother in the fields. His mother, an elderly woman with a kind face, speaks to him. "Chima, remember this. The Creator sees all hearts. When you show kindness to others, it is like planting a seed in the soil. One day, it will grow into something beautiful." Back in the present, Chima smiles as he remembers her words. Chima was on his way to trade goods at the market. He carried herbs from his village and mats woven by the hands of his people. Each step on the road reminded him of his duty, not just to trade, but but to live with honor. As Chima approaches the place where Kwame lies, he notices something unusual on the roadside. He pauses and looks closely, his brow furrowing. Is that a man lying there? By the spirits, what has happened here? Chima sets down his bundle and approaches cautiously, his voice filled with concern. "Brother, are you hurt? Can you hear me?" Kwame groans weakly. Chima kneels beside him, his face etched with worry. Though Chima did not know this man, his heart was moved. He thought of his own family and how he would hope someone would stop to help them in their hour of need. He knew the road was dangerous, but his compassion was greater than his fear. As Chima tends to Kwame's wounds, he speaks softly to reassure him. "You are not alone, my brother. I will not leave you here. The Creator watches over us both." Though Chima had his own journey to complete, he chose to walk beside his donkey, guiding Kwame to the nearest village. The village was like a living drumbeat, each person playing their part to keep the rhythm of life steady. In this place, no stranger was ever turned away, for the people believed that every visitor brought with them the blessing of the Creator. Chima approaches the home of the elder, a wise woman named Nana Essie. She sits on a low stool outside her hut, surrounded by younger women who are learning the art of weaving. When she sees Chima carrying the injured Kwame, she rises with urgency. "Who is this, my son?" "What has happened to him?" "Mother, I found him on the road, beaten and left for dead. He needs care, and I have brought him to you, for I know your hands are skilled in healing." Nana Essie nods, her face softening with compassion. She motions for the younger women to help bring Kwame inside. "You did well to bring him here. The ancestors guide those who show mercy." Inside the hut, Nana Essie and the women tend to Kwame. They wash his wounds with water infused with herbs, chanting softly as they work. In many African villages, healing was more than a task. It was a sacred act. The women sang prayers to the Creator, asking for strength and life to return to the injured man. Chima, who watches from the doorway, visibly relieved. He speaks to Nana Essie as she emerges from the hut. "Mother, I have little to offer, but here are a few coins. Please use them to care for him. If it is not enough, I will pay more when I return from the market." Nana Essie places a hand on Chima's shoulder, smiling warmly. "You have already given enough, my son. It is the heart that gives, not the hand. Go in peace, and may the Creator bless your journey." The scene shifts to the villagers gathering outside the hut, curious about the stranger. A young boy approaches Chima and asks innocently, "Why did you help him, uncle? He is not from your village." Chima kneels to the boy's level, speaking with gentle conviction. "Because, my little one, in this world we are all brothers and sisters. If we cannot care for each other, who will?" Also, Nana Essie shares these African parables. "The river does not drink its own water, it shares with the land. A single thread cannot weave a cloth." And so, Kwame was saved, not by the priest or the wealthy merchant, but was saved by kindness of a stranger, a man who owed him nothing but chose to show love and mercy. Days later, when Kwame recovered, he sat under the shade of a mango tree, reflecting on what had happened. He realized that true kindness knows no boundaries of tribe, wealth, or status. Moral of the story: in life, it is not who we are or where we come from that defines us. It is the love and compassion we show to others. Jesus taught us, "Love your neighbor as yourself." But who is your neighbor? The neighbor is not just the one who looks like you or lives near you. The neighbor is the one who needs your help, no matter where they come from. Love your neighbor as yourself, and treat everyone with dignity. Help without expecting anything in return. Be present for others with a listening heart. Don't give up on people or things when times are hard. Pray for those who persecute you. Now, child of God, ask yourself these questions. Have you ever been in a position to help someone but chose not to? What held you back? Who is your neighbor? How will you show kindness to a stranger this week? God. And everyone that loves is born of God and knows God. 1 John 4:7. My people, as the fire dies down and the stars watch over us, remember this story of the kind stranger on the village road. Chima had no obligation to help Kwame, yet he did. Not because of wealth, status, or recognition, but because kindness is a seed that, when planted, bears the fruit of love and compassion. The world is full of roads, some dusty and lonely, some bustling with life. Along these roads, we will meet those in need. Will we, like the priest and the merchant, walk away in fear or selfishness? Or will we, like Chima, pause, reach out, and lift another from the dust? The wisdom of our ancestors teaches us a single bracelet does not jingle. We need one another. Jesus himself told the parable of the Good Samaritan, teaching us that love and mercy matter more than status or tradition. He said, "Go and do likewise." Luke 10:37. So I ask you once again, who is your neighbor? Let us choose to be the hands and feet of kindness in this world. Let us not just hear this tale but live it. Because when we love as God commands, when we care for the least among us, we do it for Him. Matthew 25:40. Until next time, may the Creator guide your steps, may your hearts be filled with compassion, and may your hands always be open to bless another. Go in peace, my people. Be the kindness you wish to see on the road of life.